3, 2, 1.
First 1/1,000,000th of a second after nuclear detonation, the heat is already so extreme that a ball of plasma forms. It's a fireball so hot, it reduces everything inside it to subatomic particles. The core of our star is 15 million degrees Celsius, making it the hottest point in the entire solar system. But for a brief moment in time, it becomes the second hottest point because the core of a nuclear fireball can reach 100 million degrees. To put that in perspective, that's 20,000 times hotter than the vaporization point of diamond, one of the most resilient materials in the entire universe. So it doesn't matter if you're in a fridge or a bunker made of diamond, if you're inside of this fireball, you will get deleted from existence. All of this heat radiates outward at the speed of light, instantly scorching anything unfortunate enough to be within view. This real test footage shows the paint getting vaporized at the moment of detonation. It's quite literally a laser engraver, but like everywhere. Anything combustible immediately ignites on fire, including everything within a mile of this explosion. All the people within a mile and a half would receive third-degree burns. It's a burn so bad you don't even feel it. And looking at this test footage, what I find fascinating is that it's not actually windy. What we're seeing is the heat of the nuke pushing the smoke away like it's the solar wind or something. It's just that intense. The shockwave is a sphere of high-pressure air that expands outward faster than the speed of sound. In fact, this shockwave is so powerful, it levels up into something even deadlier. When it hits the ground, it reflects back up to recombine with itself, forming what's called a Mach stem. It gives the shockwave a razor's edge, shaving the city down to rubble. It's been a few seconds at this point, but the explosion is still happening! The shockwave leaves behind a pressure vacuum which sucks all the air back in with hurricane-force winds. It's not as strong as the initial shockwave, but this is more insidious. Rushing air feeds the flames, which create fire tornadoes that swell to hundreds of feet high. This terrifying reality is called a firestorm and is exactly what happened to Hiroshima. It was a city made almost entirely of wood. (1,200 kilotons. Yeah, this is a megaton bomb. I'm using a tool called Nuke Maps. If you just Google search Nuke Maps, you'll find this. Just plug in the warhead yield of your choice, whether or not it's detonating on the surface or if it's an airburst, and then you just hit detonate. This is the fireball, this is the strongest part of the shockwave, and this signifies where everyone gets third-degree burns. This is what the Trinity explosion would look like in downtown LA, but if I put in the B-83 of 1,200 kilotons, that detonation would look like this. It's like almost 2 miles wide, just the fireball. Now the B-83 is just the most powerful nuke that we currently have in our arsenal. We've tested many more powerful nukes. For instance, the Russians tested the Tsar Bomba, which was a 50 megaton bomb. And this would literally destroy the entirety of Los Angeles. I just turned on the casualties. Estimated casualties are about 3 million people. Instantly.
Shalom. HALALYAM, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Double honors to the elders and apostles of great MILLSTONE to teach and rule well. Peace and salutations be to the hopeful elect. Brother Tazam Gabar coming at you from the prophets in Babylon camp here in Tampa, Florida. And as it's going into the lake of fire, it's going to be titled the lake of fire. All right. We're going to jump right into it. It's going to be a little quick hit. We're going to start with the... Hey, you're really not trying to give me that Isaiah 66, man. Oh, sorry. So this is the book of Revelation, chapter 21 and verse 8. But the fearful and unbelieving, and the abominable, and murderers, and whoremongers, and sorcerers, and idolaters, and all liars, shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. So, there's lake of fire, man, it's gonna be the second death. Okay, you had the first death, which was the flood, and the second death is going to be a flood of fire. All right, the Lord created the rainbow to show you that he will never flood the earth again with water, you know. But this time he's gonna flood it with fire. 2 purifying agents. Water cleanses, fire cleanses. All right, and he's gonna cleanse the earth of its wickedness with fire, man. A guy was going into it in the intro video. He was talking about how when that the pressure gets sucked back into that nuclear blast, the fire that's already there begins to make fire tornadoes about 100 feet high. All right, these people are really going to be inside of a lake of fire, man. Okay, the whole ground covered with fire. He said as soon as that thing explodes, within milliseconds, people instantly melt, man. Okay, within that flash, people are instantly melted. And they show you the power scale of these bombs they got, man. How wide the range is, you know. But this video is going into what a nuke can do to LA. You know, he said the estimated death toll was 3 million. 3 million people, man. That's a whole lot of people. Okay. It says, and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone. So that lake is going to be with fire and brimstone. Before it was a lake of water, you know, but now it's going to be a lake of fire and brimstone. And you're going to need a miracle to get out of that, man. One body, you know, one body and whoever they worship now. They believe there ain't no such thing as miracles, man. They don't believe in miracles that YAHAWASHI had done upon earth. But we're going to need miracles to be saved out of this nuclear blast that's coming, man. Okay, you're going to need a miracle from that. There ain't no way you're going to get away from that. The dude even said it. It don't matter if you hide in a bunker or in the refrigerator or the freezer. You can't hide from this fire. All right, he gave you the scale of how hot this fire gets. How hot that nuclear missile blast gets, man. And that's no joke, man. And you gotta, pay attention to the video, but it goes multiple times hotter than the temperature, or I think it said 5,000 times hotter than the temperature at which diamonds get vaporized. You know, and diamonds are very resilient, hard to just dematerialize. But he said as soon as this thing explodes, it's turning atoms into subatomic atoms, man. It's transforming particles in the air, particles fucking everywhere, man. The scriptures say the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Let me grab that. Because the Lord ain't sending no ordinary fire to take this place. All right? You get burned by a little bit of fire. Okay, your skin may become disfigured a bit. You gonna feel a little pain. But this ain't no ordinary fire. This is fire of judgment, man. This is you might as well call it a fucking laser. How hot this shit gonna be, man. 2 Peter 3:10 says, but the day of the Lord, YAHAWASHI, will come as a thief in the night. Imagine just walking down the street, a big ass fireball just instantly appears in the air. It looks like the sun is just right in front of you out of nowhere. It's like the sun teleported to your to the city near you, man, to the midst of the city, and you in that city, and the sun's there out of nowhere. Okay, in a blink of an eye, in a flash, judgment's there. But the day of the Lord, YAHAWASHI, will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise. So the heavens, the way the sky looks now, gonna look different when the nukes in it. When the nukes are getting detonated in it, man. Because if you detonate a nuke in the sky, it's gonna have more a higher death rate, a higher death toll than if you detonate it on the ground. Because you won't be able to see or witness its full power if it hits the ground. a lot of it's going to be absorbed by the ground. But if you detonate it in the air, okay, that's a different story. Now it's like the sun is exploding right in front of you, you know, and fire is raining from heaven. All right, the scriptures talk about that, man. You know, fire coming down from heaven, okay, punishing those that are wicked. It says, and the which the heaven shall pass away with a great noise. So once you hear that, boom, the sky go. Salakia. Long day at work, man. But once you hear that boom, that sonic boom, all right, you ain't gonna hear it for a split second, because that shit gonna make your ears go up. That shit gonna explode your eardrums, man. At the sound of it, your eardrums are gonna fucking fail you. At the sight of it, your eyes will fail you. You know, looking at this blast, man, and hearing this blast, your body won't be able to hold up, because this is a judgment sent from heaven. All right, you ain't gonna be able to withstand it. You may be able to withstand or even survive a car accident. You may be able to withstand or even survive a gunshot. You know, judgment upon the earth, but this is a judgment sent from the heavens. The Lord said, there's never been an army like this army before. All right, you ain't never seen nothing like this. This is a different type of death you're about to experience if you're part of that wicked 2/3. It says, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. It didn't say with regular heat. It didn't just say with heat. It said with fervent heat. So let's go into the definition of fervent to understand how hot it's about to get, man. Fervent. Definition. Fervent, having or displaying a passionate intensity. Intense, vehement, deep-seated, heartfelt, deeply felt. Okay. Committed, dedicated, fervid, profound, spirited. I like spirited a lot because this ain't no ordinary fire. That's a spiritual fire, man. Fire came from the spirit realm. You know, the scriptures say, my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Okay, the nuke's gonna get shot up into the sky, make that arch. It's gonna go into the clouds. This gonna go into the clouds, nuclear missile. It's gonna come down, nuclear missile sent for judgment. All right. You know, when they hit them clouds, they might seem, you know, before they hit them clouds, they might seem like, okay, that motherfucker's coming, but they might hit each other in the air. And when they come out of them clouds, okay, the Lord bathing them bitches, man. The Lord bathed his sword in heaven, man. All right, that means that this judgment was ordained for the wicked, okay, for the heathen, okay, for 2/3 of our people. The Lord has sanctioned this for a good reason, okay? But you're gonna go up in the clouds, missiles, they're gonna come out nuclear missiles. You know, they're gonna go up into the clouds, Russia's missiles, they're gonna come out of the clouds, the Lord's missiles. All right, so hey, you get the point, man. This judgment, you can't escape this judgment. The guy told you, you can't escape this shit. You can't hide no fucking bunker. You put yourself in a bunker, imagine it's like putting yourself into a metal dome. What happens when you put something hot on metal? The motherfucker absorbs the metal, and whatever is inside of that metal, it gets cooked, man. Okay? It's like being in an oven. You're trapping yourself. Judgment might be worse than a bunker, you know? Some bunkers may be heat resistant, but how much heat can it take, you know, before the motherfucker just begins to melt? It says, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. That's a sincere heat. That's an intense heat. It ain't no ordinary heat, man. Okay? And it says, the earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. Okay, all the works, everything in this earth is made up of works. Okay, it took work to establish everything that's here in the earth today. All right, without works in the earth, everything would just be grass and water. Trees, plants, grass, animals, people, water. But you have gates, fences, mailboxes, streets, sidewalks, cars, bikes, airplane, all that shit gonna get burned up, man. All the works that was ever worked under the sun is about to be annihilated. okay, wiped clean. Dude say you're gonna get deleted. If you want the blast radius of these nuclear missiles, you're gonna get deleted instantly. You know how you type something in a computer on accident, you press delete, that motherfucker gone in an instant. That's how people gonna be, man. Okay, people are gonna be nothing to these nuclear missiles. If you ever look at study like the law of force, all right, you throw something at a wall and it bounces off, or it hits it and falls off the wall, falls to the ground. Okay, but this wave of fire, that besom of destruction, okay, it's not going to bounce off of these people. It's going to go right through them. Okay, like King David said, "With the eye run through a troop," or that nuclear wind, that nuclear fire broom sweeping through the earth is going to run through these people. All right, it's not going to be affected when it touches them. It's going to run through buildings. It's going to run through cars. It's going to run through things that, and the human body is fragile, man. A very fragile thing. Okay, with just a tiny bit of force, you can be tossed like a rag doll. Okay, but how much more the force of a nuclear missile, man? You're gonna melt so fast you won't have time to be tossed. All right, it says, "The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up." All right, it says, oh yeah, let's sit on that. Let me grab Ecclesiasticus 7:17. "Humble thyself greatly." All right, watching this video, humble thyself greatly, man. Understand this video. Understand the intro video. Humble yourself greatly. It says, for the vengeance of the ungodly is fire and worms. You don't want smoke with the Lord. Scripture say the Lord shall threaten, who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence. You seen the fucking buildings, the skyscrapers and shit in that video. They were beaten to powder, man. I never seen a video turn to dust. I never seen a fucking a tower or a big ass cinder block building turn into dust in an instant. Okay, how much more the bodies of these people? You throw a fucking cinder block or a brick at a person. Okay, whatever it hits, whichever part of that body that brick or cinder block gonna hit, is gonna hit with pain, man. It's gonna fall upon them with pain. And so shall these nukes. Scripture say, matter of fact, grab it. All right, it's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30 and verse 23. "Behold, the whirlwind of the Lord, YAHAWASHI, goeth forth with fury, a continuing whirlwind. It shall fall with pain upon the head of the wicked." Okay, the fierce anger of the Lord, YAHAWASHI, shall not return until he hath done it, until he hath performed the intents of his heart. In the latter days ye shall consider it. Amen. Scripture said in the latter days you're going to consider it perfectly. Why? Because you're going to understand when that fire comes. All right, you're going to think about the wrath of the Lord, who the Lord is, who you got to respect, who you should fear. That's when you're going to think about it, is in the latter days, which is in the end days, man. Okay, you're going to consider it perfectly. Oh shit, I fucked up. We need to find the prophets. Where are the prophets? The same men I was cussing your ass out, you're going to be looking for them. But the Lord going to be feeding them. They're going to be taken care of. All right, you're going to find out in that day that shit, things weren't shits and giggles the entire time. You thought things were shits and giggles. You thought YOLO, you only live once. You're gonna learn the hard way after death by pain, man. You're going to learn shit ain't shits and giggles. You're going to learn that you ain't just down here to just live it up, party it out, and fucking be as wicked as you possibly can before you die. You're going to find out the hard way. Hey, this guy from Boondocks. All right, he said we can do this the easy way, you can do it the hard way. The choice is yours, and you can either get down or lay down, man. All right, you gonna get with the Lord's program, or you gonna lay down to the Lord's program. The Lord gonna make you get with his program, man. A lot of people gonna have to be forced to get it through fire. All right. Well, blessed be those that didn't have to get it with fire, man. They just got it when they heard it. Scripture say, my sheep hear my voice. When the Lord came unto us, he stretched forth his hand, and we answered, man. We say, yes, Lord. You know, you say, my sheep hear my voice, and I know them. I calleth every one of them by name. All right. So, hey, man, the scripture say he knoweth the proud afar off. All right, because they're going to be doing the Harlem shaking that fire, man. Vengeance of the ungodly is fire and worms. That's death. All right, death and destruction, man. In the latter days, you shall consider it perfectly. As the book of Isaiah, chapter 66 and verse 15. For behold, the Lord YAHAWASHI will come with fire. People think the Lord come with hugs, kisses, and rainbows. No. It says, will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind. You're in for a fucking surprise if you think the Lord coming down here with long ass, greasy, slick hair, brown hair, or blonde hair, and blue eyes, baby blue eyes, white wings, and fucking rainbows, sweet days. And the scriptures say, woe to you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. All right, so it ain't gonna be no fucking. The scriptures say the sun gonna be darker than that day. The moon gonna be blood. You know, the moon gonna be darker than the lights of the sky. It ain't gonna give us light when the Lord comes, because the Lord's gonna be that light, and that fire gonna be that light. All right, you're gonna see the Lord. Are you gonna see the Lord in the midst of violence? You ain't gonna see him in the midst of happiness and peace and flowers and roses. No, man. You wicked niggas, you gonna see the Lord with a pissed off look on his face. Fire around you, getting torched while looking up, calling for the Lord to help you, calling for somebody to help you. And the only way to get away from destruction is up, and your ass on the floor, and the Lord is in the air, and the elect is in the air. And that's the only way you can get away from that fire. And you can't get up. And all you can do is watch them as they look down on you burn, man. Okay? And all you can think of is the shit that you did that got you in that situation in the first place. All right? You wicked niggas gonna pay, man. Okay? That's why it's time to get right now. You gotta get right now. Okay? Hey, scripture talks about the time of liberty. Niggas use it to despise the law of the Lord, YAHAWASHI, forsake the law of the Lord, and do whatever the fuck they wanted to, increase in wickedness. Okay, when it's actually supposed to be a time for you to grow closer to the Lord, you used it to go further from him. Okay, you're going to find out what happens when you wander off too far in the woods. When the little fucking white rabbit gets too far, runs too far astray and falls down the deepest hole. Okay, you're going to fall in a certain place so you can't get back up, man. And you're going to burn there. It says, for behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. Let's grab the definition of fury. It says, wild or violent anger. And what's a tornado? It's a wild and violent whirlwind. Okay, it's twisting, and it shows its violent force through its violent winds. Okay, and it's tearing through houses, tearing through everything, man. Tearing through people. Okay, it says for second definition, violence or energy displayed in natural phenomena or in someone's actions. It says fierceness, ferocity, violence. It says anger, wrath, outrage, frenzy, madness. Ooh-wee. Amen. Amen. This place is in for it. Okay. You thought the Lord was was the nice guy that sat with the cool kids and had the shiny book bag and fucking shoestrings tied and shit. No, man, the Lord is coming. He said, when I come, I shall not meet thee as a man. The Lord is coming standing on business. Okay, he coming in a spiritual body, a body that cannot be phased or touched by earthly matter. Okay, there was a video that came out of these narcos, man, shooting at a demonic spirit. Okay, these guys put their trust in their guns. They do everything by the power of their hands, which is their guns. These narcos, man. That's why they're shooting at this demon. The demon's not phased. These motherfuckers started turning around and running, man. Okay? Because what can you do when your fucking weapons can't save you? The weapons that you put your trust in can't save you. You gonna run, you gonna flee. Scripture say, a wicked fleeth when no man pursueth. Alright? Guess what? Nuclear missiles and nuclear fire gonna pursue your ass. You ain't gonna be able to flee from that. All you're gonna be able to do is stand still and get judged. Okay? You're gonna look in the eyes of the Lord, and you're gonna see that you are fucking wicked. You're gonna see that you're guilty. You're gonna see that punishment is deserved of you. Okay? The Lord ain't gonna come down and say, the Lord ain't gonna come down and talk to every person individually and say, this is what you done, and well, here's the fire. No, the Lord gonna pull up. You gonna look into his eyes and you gonna see what you've done, and you gonna know, oh shit, this is why I'm getting torched. And the Lord gonna be pissed, man. The scriptures say all of them that pierced him gonna see him. All right, and if you wasn't with the Lord, you were against the Lord, YAHAWASHI. So it's the same thing as piercing him, man. Okay. Let me finish this up. It says, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord YAHAWASHI plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. Some dude say he looked at the estimated death toll of Las Vegas. We're getting hit by a nuke. 3 million. He said, damn. Heart sunk. His face went pale, just like the people's faces gonna be pale when they see them nukes. Okay? This is what's coming to the earth, man. And it's inevitable. You cannot stop it. You either get right or get left. You're gonna know what get left means in that day. I truly hope this lesson was edifying to you. I like you, man, worth listening to the sincerity. Until next time, I give all glory, honor, and praises unto Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Shalom.